area.
Exactly.
Like if law enforcement was really about um, protecting the citizens and the communities, they would be more um, what's the word I'm looking for? They would be more assertive
Mm-hmm.
in putting people in those communities to look like the people they police.
Mm-hmm.
They would be more assertive in making sure that those policemen live in the areas they police.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's one thing to look like me, but if you're not around me, you can't really relate to me.
Right.
You know, you policing in Detroit, but you live in West Bloomfield.
Yeah. Come on now.
So yeah, you can look like me, but that don't necessarily mean you understand what's going on in this hood,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you ain't grew up in it.
Yep.
So you got people that don't understand us trying to police us.
Right.
Because if you understood us, then you would know not to be giving me a breathalyzer when I'm telling you I drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you I don't need a breathalyzer.
Right.
And you gonna make me take one anyway? And I'm not even driving? If you understood me, you would be okay, yeah, you shouldn't be driving. Let me take you around the corner to your sister's house.
Mm-hmm.
But because you don't understand me and you're scared of me, now you feel you have to protect yourself from somebody that's not even trying to hurt you.
Right.
So if we had more people that look like us, that live with us,
Mm-hmm.
a whole lot of these issues wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Now that's on one end. Then you got a whole nother end where you just got a bunch of racist assholes that just their main goal is to keep history current.
Mm-hmm.
That's their objective.
Yep.
Their objective is to make sure history remains current.
Keep repeating itself. Yep. Absolutely.
So sometimes you can't avoid being shot because you went jogging.
Mm-hmm.
Some stuff is just gonna happen just because of the hate that people have. And I believe that anybody that's racist, to me, racism is a mental illness.
Thank you.
I think racism is a mental illness. You got to be sick to hate somebody because of the color of their skin.
Yeah.
You got to be sick in the head. The only reason why you don't like me is because I'm black.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know me. You don't know where I come from. You don't know what I do. You don't know
You don't know what I've done.
what
to
I've
help.
done. You don't know nothing. All you know is I'm black. And for that reason, you hate me.
Mm-hmm.
You're sick.
And
It's
sad.
either they're sick because they hate us, or we're not sick enough because we don't hate them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because how is it we can look at you and be okay with the history that you manifested in this country, and we can still look at you, and at minimum, we just want to be seen like a person.
Exactly.
How sick are we that our standards is so low that we just want to be seen as a human?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they're sick because they don't like us because of our color, but we can be just as sick because we're just looking for the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm. Because really, black people, we have all reason to hate white people. We have every single reason to.
But here's the irritating part. We want the bare minimum from them,
Mm-hmm.
but we want to flex on each other to prove how big and bad we are.
Divide us.
We'll shoot a hood up because when our boys got shot,
A whole house. Full
we'll
of
shoot a
people.
whole house up
Like kids. In
or a
there.
car because our boy got shot.
Mm-hmm. And at the same time, somewhere around the world, it's a white cop shooting a black person. Like you're like,
And we crying Black Lives Matter.
when we're
and
helping
we just,
them.
and we just want to be seen as equals.
Mm-hmm.
So how sick are we to want more from us than them? And I'm not making the Black Lives Matter, All Lives Matter, black on black crime. I ain't even talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about why is it we only want the bare minimum from them? We should want more than just to be seen equal.
Yeah, absolutely,
We should want more than that.
absolutely.
This ain't about being seen equal. This ain't about restitute. No, we're like legit real people.
Mm-hmm.
Without us, there would be no United States. We built this country for free. Now we did all of this, and now we just want to be seen as equals.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, we need to want more than that.
Mm-hmm.
We need to want more than that. You know, I'm glad to see, you know, a lot of these corporations and they changing names and taking down statues and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. It's cute.
Right.
But when we gonna get some laws changed?
Yeah.
Cause taking down statues and changing names ain't changing hearts.
Nope.
That ain't changing nobody's heart. That ain't making no racists think different. If anything, it's charging them up to fight harder.
Mm-hmm. That's all that
The
is.
only thing that can change a heart is a law. Because now it's a consequence for reacting to how you feel.
Yeah.
Right now, there's no consequence.
Yeah, this whole law system is.
There's no consequence. No consequence. If I'm not mistaken, we don't hear a whole lot of killings and stuff going on in Canada. Because if I'm not mistaken, I believe that they have a death penalty.
I'm sure. Yep. Yeah, they a lot more strict up there.
So their legal system changed the hearts of a lot of people
Mm-hmm. And it's
that
sad.
will want to do something.
That's sad.
You know what I'm saying? But our legal system help you get off.
Yep.
Our legal system tells us you're innocent until proven guilty.
Yep. It's sad.
Unless you're black. Because if you're black, you got to prove that you're innocent first. We do something, we get locked up. They do something, they get fired.
Mm-hmm. Still live a good life. Still in the
They
gated
get,
community.
they get fired. Or they get laid off with pay.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nothing but a vacation.
Honestly. Yeah, this system was never made for blacks.
No.
It's not.
No.
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 Not at all.
No.
'Cause, yeah, you're right. I feel like we did. Yeah.
But as much as we realize the system is not made up for us, we need to be smarter to learn the system so we know how to use it
Mm-hmm.
and to navigate through it.
Then it's hood dudes who kind of know the system, how to get out of murdering other black
Oh,
people.
yeah.
Like, it's you learning the wrong stuff. Like,
Oh,
what?
yeah. Oh yeah. I know a few dudes that got a lot of bodies. They got a lot.
Still walking around.
They got a lot. Cause there's so many.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many. The news can only report. They only got 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
The news only got 30 minutes. And a lot of what they report is what somebody told him. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? One of my boys at work, he was locked up for like a year and a half for something he didn't even do. And the evidence said he didn't do it. He just got back to work. Well, it was like the middle of last year. When we saw his picture come up on the news, we was like, he did what? Said they accused him of shooting a pregnant girl. In her driveway. He just got out. He was in there for a good year.
Was he even on the scene?
No, he was in the area. And the only reason why he got locked up is because they was able to use the satellite to track phones of people who was in the area. And his phone came up.
They know they wrong.
So he could have did life.
Yep.
Honestly.
They was about to bag him. They was about to bag him. Cause we had coworkers that was going to all of his trial hearings. They was calling off to go up there. Like, no, we ain't about to let y'all do this.
Right.
And they finally let him go, like after a year.
The crazy thing is, speaking of satellites, like there's no crime goes unnoticed. Like they see everything from these satellites.
They can.
They can.
They see what they want to see.
And they show us what they want to see. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
They see what they want to see.
Yeah, that's wild.
They see what they want to see, and then you have a lot of crooked cops that keep their ear in the street because they benefit from it. And so they know who to talk to, they know what to say to get what they need, and then they turn their back when something go down.
I believe like there's some bosses in like the hoods. It's all just fake cops. I mean, undercover cops just telling these little dudes to go out and shoot, do all that stuff, and then want to bust them when the time is right. It's probably is some big homies. That's what they call them. That be police telling them to go do this sale, go sell that on that corner, all this kind of stuff. And then when they get caught, all the evidence that big homie got on them is gonna be used against them.
Only if the deal go bad. Only if the deal go bad. That's the only time it turns.
The dude who got locked up, he had kids, wife?
No.
Okay. Even still.
Nope. Good dude. Like, the dude is chill. That's why when we saw it popped up, we was confused. Like, no, they can't be the right one. They couldn't have the right one. And I admit, for a split second, like the second or third time I saw the story, I was like, dog, you just never know who you work with. like you know what I'm saying? Like, my mind got flipped for a minute. Like, well, dog, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Maybe she said the wrong thing. Maybe he, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he smoked something that wasn't good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he just went and popped off for a second. But I knew dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we all worked together at our old plant before we all got to Ford. So I knew dude was legit.
Right.
But for a split second, because they had so much stuff piled up, I'm like, wait, dog, wait.
Yep.
You mean to tell me this nigga didn't snap off for real?
Trying to flip your whole mind around.
You know, right.
Dude,
And then I had to think
years.
about like, nah, man, nah. Because I'm going to always be the first one to give you the benefit of the doubt. Like, you got to have some straight up evidence for me to be like, oh, yeah, dang, yeah, he did it. But for a split second, like the third time I saw the report, I'm like, wait a minute. Did this dude really just snap like this? And then when they came back and started telling us, you know what I'm saying, like the evidence and stuff went adding up, I was like, man, Dog, the system, they want us.
Mm-hmm.
They want us.
Absolutely.
They want us because they know if we can build this city, this country, we can run it.
Absolutely.
They know it. If we can build this country, we can run it. But we got to know that we can run it.
Yeah.
We don't know how much power we got.
Not at all. If we were all to come together and go against the people that's really like going against us, they wouldn't. Nah. Nah. Not a chance.
We are the most creative, some of the smartest people in the world.
And with good hearts too.
In the world.
Like hearts full of gold. Like
in the world. Nigga, we would give you our last whatever we got.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you can make it. And we'll just keep passing it on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dog, all I got is $5.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I'm gonna get to the crib.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? But that's just how we cut.
Yeah.
That's just how we cut. We just, you know what I'm saying? We smart. We creative. We'll make stuff work. That's why it'd be so irritating to see some of this creative stuff we do. And at the same time, we act like we can't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't be smart and dumb.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be smart and dumb.
Mm-hmm. So much talent, man.
We will come up with a way to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. And then as soon as somebody tell us to do something, we act like we can't do nothing.
Yep.
We'll come up with a master plan on how to rob a bank. A master plan and get away with it.
Mm-hmm. Got the getaway car over here.
Get away with it. And then you tell somebody to make a budget and they like, what?
Yeah, we use
like how you come up with a way to rob a bank but you can't put together a budget?
Mm-hmm.
That ain't doing nothing but adding and subtracting.
Yep. We use our minds for the wrong things.
I mean, you straight running game in the drug game. You got layers of people working for you.
Mm-hmm. Like a business.
Layers of people.
Like a whole business.
And then you turn around and give them a store to run and it close in like 30 days.
Mm-mm.
It is irritating. Because we are so much better and so much smarter than what we give ourselves credit for.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then be the first one to talk about the system and what the white man ain't. Nah, a lot of this is us.
Yep.
Yeah, they got stuff created to stop us.
The thing is,
But we make it harder on ourselves.
yeah.
Way harder.
There's people now who got the good life. Got the good life, got a nice house, both parents, all that stuff, still grow up depressed. And I heard some stories like back in like the 80s, 90s, there was no depressed back then. Like if you go outside and you play, like that was just stories I heard from other people, but like there was no being depressed. There was no sad era in music back then. Like there was no time for that. You feel me? And I just think like, yeah, man, they got us good.
the growing up, the mindset was we gonna make the best of what we got.
Yep. Do the
Now-
most with the least.
Now we got too much stuff,
Way too much.
and it's too easy to get. It's too easy to get. I'm gonna tell you something that I think is small, but it's significant.
Mm-hmm.
because social media ties into being able to connect with people that think like you, act like you, look like you, and social media has turned us into some of the most unappreciative people ever.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. Nothing is good enough. Nobody is right but me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, social media has made us so selfish.
Yeah.
If
Me,
you
me.
don't agree with me, you don't like me. Now I'm about to block you. I'm about to unfollow you.
Just arguing off the bat, like, yeah, little stuff like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, people can't give their opinion. You give your opinion on everything, and as soon as you post something, somebody gives their opinion about you posted. Now it's an issue.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's an issue. Back in the day, we was all just happy to get whatever little stuff we had. Now every time somebody gets something, they go up on social media
Mm-hmm. To brag.
to brag,
Yep.
to say what I got.
Look what I got. Look. People looking at it.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I want, like, yeah. I hear you.
Like, I remember growing up, one of the greatest feelings in the world is to see that Happy Meal box go from the restaurant to the car. When we saw a Happy Meals box,
Mm-hmm.
dog, that was life.
Yep.
That was life. Like, getting a Happy Meal was everything. You ask kids what they want now, and they talking about they want shrimp.
Lobster.
Like, for real?
My little sister be like, red lobster. I be like, oh my goodness.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How we get from Happy Meals to shrimp and lobster?
Mm-mm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we are way too spoiled.
Way too.
And because we're so spoiled, we're easily depressed. We're easily discouraged. We always got anxiety. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because we always looking for the next thing, the next big thing,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
the next big thing.
The more and more you want, you're gonna start to realize that it's still not gonna be it.
And
Like,
we work hard to get something, and in 30 days it ain't good no more.
Yep. I know that feeling.
It ain't good no more.
I used to win every new Call of Duty game, and after the first month, like,
You know, like after you beat it,
yeah, it's like, okay.
Yeah, okay. and now you gotta wait 11 months
Mm-hmm.
for the new one to come out.
Just to get that feeling again.
Just to get that feeling again.
It's so, yeah, the unappreciativeness.
Just to get that feeling again.
Yeah.
But we're so emotionally tied to stuff that don't matter.
To these materialistic things, right?
We're emotionally tied to stuff that don't matter.
We're emotionally tied to our images on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad.
And how we want people to see us.
Exactly. People don't even know the real you. They know the internet you.
Yep. And I don't want to say I've gotten in trouble, but I've been asked many a times, how are you so comfortable being so open and transparent on social media?
Mm-hmm.
How are you so free to talk about what happened to you when you grew up, and how, you know what I'm saying, how your dad wasn't there, and how you felt like you wasn't a good dad,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, growing up to day. And I told him, ain't nowhere in the world I'm gonna act like I was the best of anything when I was living with that person.
Mm-hmm.
How can I help you be better if all you see is the good that I do?
Exactly.
What's the purpose of an answer if you don't have a question for it? What's the purpose?
Yep.
Problems is irrelevant if you always got an answer.
Oh yeah.
There's no reason for a problem if you always got an answer. I don't. Sometimes your best answer is the wrong one. Because it's only when you find out it's wrong that you can go back and make corrections.
Mm-hmm.
If you've lived a life where you never had to go back and make corrections, the first time you run into a brick wall, you hit.
Mm-hmm. All that's gonna
You
come back.
hit. Your life is about to get flipped upside down.
Yep.
Your life about to get flipped upside down. Ain't nowhere in the world.
You ain't running.
Everything I put up is gonna be like, I did this and I accomplished this and I did this and and I got this. No. There was some years in my life I sucked as a dad. There was some years in my life I sucked as a kid. I was a bad son.
Mm-hmm.
I was a bad brother. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so people can look at that like, dang, that was me too.
Yep. I think more people need that too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're not comfortable being wrong, you should get a whole lot of glory being right. You got to be comfortable
Mm-hmm.
to not just be wrong, but expose your wrongness.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't, you ain't helping nobody.
Nope.
You ain't helping nobody. I can show you how to run a store because I'm always in the green,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I can do better showing you how to stay green because of my red.
Right. Showing you what might happen, how to budget and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. Yep.
It's the red that's gonna help you stay green,
Mm-hmm.
not me being green all the time.
Absolutely. Yep.
But people they don't want you to see the bad stuff.
People don't want to live the bad. They don't want to relive that bad stuff. They want everything to be all green and good.
Nah.
That's not how it works.
No, that's not how it works. And it's not designed to be that way. It's not designed to be that way. There is not a seed that can be planted that does not grow without dirt. Not one.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put a seed nowhere and expect it to grow but in dirt.
Mm-hmm.
So if all we want to talk about is the flower, you ain't helping nobody.
Exactly.
It's good for pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But the real story is the root.
Mm-hmm. How did you get? What were the necessary steps you had to take to get to this flower?
Yeah. Because we want people to see the flower.
But don't.
The real growth is how far is that root in that dirt.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the real growth is. Don't show me the end result.
I want to see how you.
We can
did.
we can buy the end result and make it look good.
Yeah.
Nah, don't show me that. Show me your dirt.
I remember that one talk we had back when we were still at that apartment. We said talked about the inner child. That stuck with me to this day because I'm starting to realize more and more of that. Yeah, we do always have that inner child, but it's just buried by all the social conditions.
The kid never goes away. It never goes away.
And I feel like that's who we are as soul beings. We are that more creative, fun side. Like before everything was implanted into us, you couldn't tell us nothing. Like there's actually white kids who their parents would say don't like them.
Yeah.
That's how all that stuff starts. That's where the inner child starts to get programmed and
Ain't
stuff.
nobody born racist.
No. No.
Ain't nobody born racist.
Mm-mm.
You're taught to be racist.
Exactly. Inner childs are destroyed and
Yeah.
making us it's sad.
You're taught to be
Because
racist.
when have you ever seen a happy, joyful, racist person? They're all bitter. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, their inner child is pretty much gone at that point because it's all buried by thoughts and what your parents told you to do and all that kind of stuff. No, that's gone.
We have the tendency to cover up everything that our childhood produced.